day. Um, some parts of the world it might be morning, so I guess I should say good morning too. It is another taco tea. Oh my God, I feel so fortunate. I feel so blessed to be here to see you guys again, to do another show for you. It's been a few months, I should say, just a few months. And I must say that I got a chance to reflect on the last season and to see what I wanted to do or get a sense of what I wanted to do for this season. So many things have changed in the last, like literally the last couple of months. I have started a new adventure. Those of you who followed me on my road to Ryerson, I'm now a student of Ryerson University. So Cacoa, which used to actually be every single week once we start airing, is going to be every other week or at least twice a month. And that is just to pretty much keep up with my school schedule so that I don't fall back and stuff, because raising kids, being a mom, and all of that, I really do not want to put my schoolwork on the back burner. So I want to make sure that I'm doing everything right. So I'm gonna be here with you guys at least twice a month. I have some amazing guests who've reached out to me and some of whom I reached out to. And I'm so glad to be able to come on and give you guys another show, put on another Kakoti for you. I really want to say, thank you so very much to all the folks who've supported, who've sent me messages, who called, who were like, oh my God, Jael, like, I really want to be on the show. I really love what you're doing. I am so grateful to every single one of you who've supported. I want to big up, my girls. You guys know yourselves, I'm so thankful. I am so elated to have you guys in my life. And I'm happy to be able to put on another season for you. I hope that folks, will tune in. I hope that your friends and family can get a chance to tune in and enjoy the show and get into the whole Kakoti vibes. This season, I promise to put it on for you like no other. And I mean, the time has changed a little bit. So before we were earlier, I think we were at 6 o'clock, and now it's going to be a little bit later in the evening. That way, I think, a lot of folks in the islands will get a chance to lock in, since I have quite a bit of viewers who tune into from the islands. But I want to also thank the North American and the UK folks who tune in every single week, or tune in every single week, and who will be tuning in every other week or twice a month for the new season. This show is like no other. I have an exceptional guest who's going to be on with me, and I want to encourage folks to comment. Hi, Nans, how are you? The folks are already coming on. Send me a comment. Tell me what's up. Let me know where you tuned in from. We want to have a nice little interaction here. I don't think he's done any show like this before in terms of this style of interview. And I am so excited to have him on with me for this very first new season of Kakoti. Those of you who followed me last season, I interviewed his beautiful, amazingly talented wife. So we had a really good interaction. And I said, you know what? I need to interview him. I've had interviews in the past with this man on radio, but never before in this sort of setting. And I must say, I'm very, very happy that when I reached out to him, he said, of course, sure, no problem. Just let me know what's up. And he's back from his Euro tour, I'd like to call it, because they were out in Europe touring, and they just got back to Dominica, and I'm sure he's going to tell us a little bit about the Euro experience, being on tour. I saw some videos. I was macroing those videos. So I saw some videos of the performances. I shared them on my timeline for those of you who follow me on Facebook and stuff. And I must say, I appreciate what they're doing, what he's doing, what he's done. He's been doing so much for the music industry in Dominica. He's done so much and continues to contribute heavily towards that industry, and probably people kind of put him on a back burner or don't recognize as much how much input and how much he's done. And probably some of you might be grudging and you might say one or two things and whatever. But you gotta give Jack his jacket and Jacqueline her lipstick, like Phyllis Henderson says. And I believe he is an amazing person, an amazing individual. A little hard-headed sometimes, but he's actually in the lobby listening right now and getting ready to come on. I want to welcome, guys, my very first guest for this season two. I want to welcome none other than Mr. Cornell Phillip to the broadcast. Hi.
Hi.
What? I lying on you?
That part took me by surprise.
I think it's a short people thing, head hard. Thank you so very much, Cornell, for being on Cacoa Tea. How are you doing?
Doing fine, man. I'm doing nice. Dominica is nice, beautiful country. Thank God we missed the weather, but we are thankful for what we have, and hey, I'm good.
Great. Tell me a little bit about your tour, because you're just fresh off the tour.
The tour not that fresh. Some weeks, about a month ago. It was great. I mean, first of all, we have to thank the promoters for bringing us up there, because we were basically unknown and our name was just mentioned, and the guy decided to take a chance with us. And we went up there. We didn't know what to expect. The promoter, didn't know what to expect. But knowing that we wanted to go up there and really give a bang performance. And when we arrived, we were calm, because we know we're in no man's land, so we want to create a nice impression. But the biggest impression we created was actually on the stage. I mean, when the second gig we did, when we came on, the guy was totally blown away when he saw Colin's performance. Totally blown away.
Wow, that is so amazing. Congratulations to you and your entire team. Your wife, of course, Colin XP. But this is not about Colin XP right now. This is about Cornell Phillip in the house. Nancy says legendary. People are commenting, and we want to encourage you guys to ask your questions, comment. We will, of course, with the interest of time, see how many questions Cornell will be able to answer. And those of you, if you have a question, best to put it out there now, so I could take a note of it and eventually bring it up on the screen, so that Cornell can as though go asking the man no kind of crazy questions, because easy. just
I'm up for any question.
You ready? You ready?
Some hard questions already. So.
Way papa. I like to start my show on every single show asking. I'll getting to know a little bit about the person behind. I mean, I may know you, Dominicans may know you, but people outside of Dominica, they may have heard about you, but they're not really sure who this person is. Who exactly is Cornell Phillip?
Well, my name is Cornell Phillip. I'm a Dominican. I was born and raised in Roseau. I come from a large musical family. I'm the last of 11. So, seeing that I'm the last of 11 of a musical family, it was almost obvious that I would be involved in the music industry, at least in the playing of music. In 1988, I was one of the pioneers.
We don't want to talk about that yet.
What can I tell you about me? I'm a shy guy. I don't like to speak about myself.
You're a shy guy. Okay, well, let's see if we can. Let's see if we can either make you warmer, so you're feeling better about talking about yourself. You have a Cacoa?
Yes.
You like my Cacoa tea mug? See my
Yes.
Cacoa tea coming to a
My
city.
coffee, but it's actually Cacoa tea.
So folks, we're gonna be having a good show here. Cornell is in the house. Cornell, you just mentioned that you were before that somebody's saying Julian McGowan is saying big up my brother. So somebody is actually locked in, and folks are coming in. They're sending their loves and hearts and all sorts of stuff. And I don't want to forget them. I don't want to leave them out because they're part of the conversation with us. But you just said that you were one of 11, or the last of 11 kids.
Yeah.
Just the other day, I was actually we were actually talking about how people are not having kids anymore, or people are just having two and stopping. So you're pretty much replacing yourself. That wasn't the case for Musi and Phillip, because you were one of 11. How was it growing up being the last of 11?
Not easy. They were fed up. At least the siblings were fed up of me. They first was fed up. But actually, to be honest, when I was born, a number of them had already left the nest. So there were one, two, three. There were around 4 siblings that I never got to know until I actually started to tour in 1990.
Wow.
I knew them, but we didn't know each other, But because we went off to study, who went to Canada, who went to the States, and they didn't come back. They would come back to visit, but I never really got a chance to know them, or spend time with them, until later on when WCK started to tour and we went to the US, and then I actually found out what kind of people they were. Because I was totally lost, I didn't really know them. But those that were down here in Dominica, who lived in Dominica, we had a very close relationship. I can actually remember sitting down on the lap of Urban Smokey, sitting down on his lap, and 2 of us would be playing piano together and stuff like that. I'd be singing, you'd be playing the piano, we'd be having fun.
Oh wow! So you had a really good relationship with the ones who remained home in Dominica.
Yeah.
Tell us about that relationship besides Irving.
Well, obviously, when you have a big family, you have your quarrels, and so that comes with the territory, But generally, it was warm. It was a loving family, I must say. More like Phillip and Campbell. Phillip did a very good job raising 11 children, I must say. Congratulations to my mom. I hope she's listening. It was nice. I mean, when it came to the music, they were not really supportive of me growing up in music, because it never really caught on. So for some reason they didn't catch on in the family. No, there were no superstar in the family musically.
Okay.
So it was kind of surprising to my mother when she saw that I wanted to be deep into the music business. And she would always caution me about it, and I would probably put the passion or the focus on the music and not necessarily my schoolwork.
Okay.
That was a problem for her, and so, but look at where I am today. So I guess it paid off.
You mentioned school, so tell us about your school days.
It's rather simple. I went to. Where did I go to? I went to the preschool, creche. You can remember the preschool by the Catholic Church. Then after that, I went to the convent prep. Then I went to St. Mary's Academy, and straight out of St. Mary's Academy, I went into the music fraternity.
Wow. So you were heavily involved in music from a very, very young age.
Very young, very young.
If I had to probably pull out one of your classmates and ask them what type of person Connor was in school, what would they say?
Shy, that's for sure. They would say I was shy. They would say that we'll get to that.
My job was one of my Cacoa.
I wouldn't say I wasn't that kind of guy. I mean, I had a girlfriend, and stuff during my high school days, but I would, in fact, my prep days, yeah. But I wouldn't say I wasn't the run around. I wasn't the run around kind of guy. No,
Okay.
that actually started later.
Mm, okay. So man's was not hot, but man's became hot later
Man
on.
was always hot, but man was, the focus was on the music. To be honest, the focus was on the music. I know, I mean, growing up, you always know you have that chip on your shoulder and stuff like that. But I knew who I was. I just was downplaying it.
Faouj.
Yes.
Oh, that is the right word. Faouj.
Faouj.
So when exactly did you become or become interested, especially in the piano? When did that passion actually ignite?
That passion for the piano was there from day one. I mean, from the day I really got to know myself, growing up as a little baby, because as I said, Irvin was the one that I really looked up to musically. He was the only active musician in the family when I was growing up at the time, So he played the piano, so I gravitated towards the piano, and my sister Valina later also played the piano, and she had a music school, So my extracurricular activities included going to music school by my sister's house, which was an experience because I guess she had the leeway to clout me and to give me a spanking when I didn't practice and stuff like that. So it was a challenge. Yes, it was tough on me. It was rather tough on me, but
When you mentioned that she helped teach you, the piano and stuff as you had practicing with. Did you learn to read music at that age, at that time?
Yes. I cannot remember at what age I started actually going to music school, but before that, I would be playing by ear. I would just hear a melody, and then I'd go on the piano and just started to play what I heard and stuff like that. So that was my strong point. And in my early teens, I guess I started going to music school by heart. And I started to learn how to read. I did music exams and stuff like that.
Okay, I want to go out, go up and check out the folks who are coming on. We have Nigel Corrietta saying, "Big up my brother." Carol and saying hi to you as well. Juliana Frederick is saying, "Big up my brother." Julian McGowan is saying, "Mans was undercover." I guess he's commenting on Mans was hot or not. Right. So thanks guys for commenting and bringing in saying hi. I want to encourage you guys to continue to send in your messages, and we'll definitely get to that. Now Cornell decided to start a band. Tell us about what inspired the start or the creation of not just a band, but an entire genre of music.
Well, first of all, I didn't decide to start a band. I really didn't decide to start a band. Okay, well, when it all started, well, in convent, we used to, I was always how should I put it? We were very much influenced by the culture of Dominica, going to convent prep. Up to the point where I remember Tradi Bell actually coming to convent prep and teaching us how to dance. And I would play the drum for the ballet dancers. I also learned how to play ballet how to dance ballet in convent prep with Tradi Bell.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I went to high school, I would be playing. There would be a piano in high school. I'd be known for playing the piano and stuff like that in school, in SMA. But it really started off when my best friend, well, he eventually became my best friend, Keith Goddard. He started SMA, and then he he also came from a musical family, and that musical family lived probably 400 meters down the road, at the bottom of the Monroe Road. So we hooked up in school only to find out that Irvin was a very good friend of his uncle. So that bond was well, it was almost inevitable that it would happen. So we got together and with friends of ours like Richard Astafani, he had that little keyboard, and we just started to mess around. Keith and I just like to mess around this little keyboard, and we started to just hit it off, hit it off in school. We ended up playing tea parties. We ended up playing all kind of things. And I can remember even when I was on detention, I remember Brother Wakeham, who was the principal at the time, putting me at the piano for my detention to learn the graduation song this year. So,
style.
Yeah, I actually love detention.
So, that's not a good thing to say. I hope your kids are listening to you.
I think they are. Anyhow. So, where do I go from here?
You guys started hanging out, doing tea parties, doing things, but then you guys decided to, not decided, but you guys created your very own sound. Like, how did that happen?
We're so far away from that.
We're far away from that. Bring me back.
No, I had another brother called Ashton Phillip, who also, he had a song system called Synchronic Song System. So after school, Keith and I would come home and Keith and I would be playing on the speakers and stuff like that, And then Ashton saw the talent in Keith and he saw us playing on this little keyboard. So what happened is that Ashton bought Keith a bass guitar. We had no idea what a bass guitar was at the time. And when we got the bass guitar, the guitar looked rather funny. And we didn't know how to handle it, but we eventually did. We'll just put that on the side for now. And Irvin bought me a keyboard. So Keith had a bass and I had a keyboard, and we started to play on the synchronic song system in different places that were child-friendly, I would say. And then we played the first, what was it? I mean, we started to get along and we started to play for private parties and stuff like that, Then something happened. Irvin was in a band before, together with Ashton Lugie Walkers and Derek Ra Peters. They were in a band before, and that band was no more. And when he heard what Keith and I were doing, he went to these guys and he told these guys, look, here's these two young fellas that we can probably come together and see what we can do. So we had a meeting sometime. Irvin just told Keith and I to come down to this place and just come. That's his style. Just come. He's my brother, so I trust him. So we went. And the older band members, the old band members were there. And then we had a meeting and we said that we were going to put a band together with them, with the inclusion of Keith and myself. Now, not having equipment, we didn't know, well, it was kind of difficult. So it eventually became a time where Walkers had his guitar, I had the keyboard that Irvin gave me, and Keith had the bass. So we just continued from what we were doing with my brother Ashton, playing at these parties and stuff like that. But Walkers joined us.
Okay.
So
like a combo.
Right, it was like a combo. Mm-hmm. Then eventually Ra joined us, and Ra is a percussionist. Mm-hmm. So we got these little pads that he would play on and stuff like that. Then he eventually became the drummer and the lead singer of the band.
Wow.
And
I never heard that story like this. and we've heard the WCK story a few times, but I don't think I've ever heard it like this.
Yeah. And when it comes to WCK or the original makeup of the band, there's one person that we always have to mention is Tony Detouche. He was actually supposed to be the original drummer of the band, but because of lack of instruments, we couldn't get that. But the talk is not about WCK, it's about, okay.
Yes. Okay, so then where did that Bouyon thing come out?
Whew, boy, I'm mentioning a lot of my siblings. Okay, at the time, Keith and I would be playing in the house, trying to, we were like playing 17 plus, imaginations, brass, jam band music, burning flavors music, you know, we would play the music. But my older brother, Phillip, he was a cultural officer at the time, and he was in the process of archiving or documenting the traditional rhythms and dances of Dominica on video and audio recording. So he being the bigger brother, when he brought the guys down from the country, brought them to the house for them to practice and to record them, he would tell us stop playing because it would be disturbing him. But troublesome boys as we were, they were playing their jimping music and their quadrille dances, mazouk and belly and everything. We started to play along with them.
Wow. Oh my God.
So the accordion, I heard the accordion playing, and the accordion is a melodic instrument. So I went on the keyboard and I got a harmonica and accordion tune on the keyboard, and I started to try to play what he was playing. The boom boom was more of the bass, so Keith was trying to mimic what the boom boom was playing on his bass guitar, and then the keyboard had a little drum section, so we tried to program in the siak and the timbal, you know, into the little keyboard with little success, I must say. But yeah, that is where my personal influence and Keith's influence, I believe, came from when it came to the development of what eventually became Bouyon music.
Okay, now we've heard in the past that Cornell mash up the band, Cornell mash up WCK. What happened and what caused the band to dismantle?
Well, I mean, there's no secret that we had our riffs within the band.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that is what destroyed the band. It was one of the factors that made certain decisions, you know. But after how many years, I would go to a gig, I would go to a performance, and then I ended up in a situation where we had so many albums and we had so many songs, so many melodies, so many accordion parts, so many this, so many that. There became a time that I was starting to get confused as to what song I was actually playing, or how does that song go again, and this and that. So that, you know, thing, it was time to do something new. You know, so it was just I just felt from a personal standpoint, it was time for me to move to something else.
Okay.
And at the time, word started to go wrong. Well, what was going wrong with WCK and the players and the new genre throughout the Caribbean? And then this guy called me up and said that, yo, there's somebody, a friend of mine in Barbados, who is the manager of Rupee, and he's looking for a keyboardist, and I recommended you to him. So the guy called me, and we spoke, and he said that he has his position for me if I'd want to come to Barbados to audition. So I went to Barbados. I stayed there for 3 days or something like that. We did an audition, and then I went back to Dominica, and I was offered the job. You know, so it was something I had already left WCK, or it was at the same time that transition. So I actually embraced that opportunity. You know, but for people to say that I destroyed the band, no, because even when they got their new keyboardist, Ulson Matthew, little man, you know, I can remember calling Ulson and asking him, hey, you need any help with anything, you know, blah, 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 and this and that, you know, so it wasn't no bad blood. For some reason, it became bad blood. It was for the fans. I don't know what it was, but it eventually got bad, and people started to talk and this and that, but up to this, I mean, Keith and I still talk.
People could not understand how you could evolve. Like, people evolve and people decide that, hey, they need to make bold decisions for themselves, whether it be personal decisions or decisions that would affect a band or in a group, because a band is a team effort, and there's gonna be a time when you probably figure, hey, what my actions will destroy or might affect the band. And at the end of the day, it may sound or it may seem selfish when you have fans. Fans can put so much kerosene on smoke, not even blazing fire, on smoke, and they
pressure. I can assure you that.
they really say Cornell mash up the band, and everybody ran with that, and that was it.
You know, I mean, even some band members were eventually, because probably they would hear things that I said and probably put it into their own perspective. I would hear things that they themselves said, I put it into my own perspective. But in recent years, we actually came and we spoke, you know, individual members of the band, one-on-one. We came and we spoke only to find out that, you know, at the end of the day, it was really nothing.
It's not always all about the hearsay. Okay, now since then, you have, should I say, reignited the Bouyon Pioneers, or you've come out with the Bouyon Pioneers. Tell us about that journey so far, and let me know, like, what exactly caused you to want to go pretty much back, because you, as far as you just said, you were moving forward, you're moving ahead with your life, you were doing other things, and now you've gone back and you've now created the Bouyon Pioneers. Tell us a little bit about that.
The Bouyon Pioneers came about from my perspective, pressure, because everybody would say, come up, because Bouyon music has evolved. All right, let's put this side if it's good or bad. Me myself, I respect every artist for what it is that they do. You know, and when it comes to today's Bouyon, yes, I agree, it is not the old school Bouyon, but yes, to me, it is good. Period.
It's evolved.
It's evolved, plain and simple. Yeah. You know, so the older Bouyon music lovers, and surprisingly, even some of the younger ones, they were saying, you know, we want that old style. We miss that old style of Bouyon. We need to hear it live again. You know, and then the opportunity came about. It has been tried many times. It was successful with Creole in the Park, Limes or Flows Creole in the Park.
Which one? I remember that. That's happened so many times.
You know, so it actually came about on that at that time, and I must say it was nice. Now there was talk about we're going to mash up WCK and this and that and such. But from my perspective, I wasn't looking at taking over WCK. I can only see the new group. It wasn't named the original Bouyon Pioneers at the time, but whilst we were talking, I was looking at the new group going alongside the present WCK, because I always tell people that WCK never died. WCK themselves evolved and moved on. You know, there was never a year that you didn't hear a song from WCK. You understand? So no one can say that WCK is no more. WCK never left. You know, so there was no place for me to say that, or no reason for me to say that, yeah, I come back to take back WCK like people thought was the talk. You know, but I wanted to come back, yes, to do the old school stuff, the authentic stuff. It was nice to play again. It would be nice to play with Pelham, Keith, Walkers, Wayne McLawrence, Martindale Olive, you know, even the singers and stuff like that. It would always be nice to play with them again, you know. So we decided to do something like that. And yeah, the rest is history. We did 5 songs, I think, up to date. And we did couple tours and stuff, but things have been kind of on a down low, because there are certain things that we wanted to do, but because of I would say the confusion from the fans, fans meddle a lot in your business, you know. They have a great impact on your business, to be honest. Mm-hmm. You know, we had problems, you know, in the confusion as to who is original Bouyon Pioneers and who is WCK and stuff like that. And, you know, it caused some sort of confusion where the promoters were concerned, stuff that we took care of, you know. But since the passage of Maria and certain things that have happened in the last 2 years, you know, we have kind of been on a download.
Well, you see, the thing about it is that I'm glad that you can come on now and talk about this because I feel you're giving you're putting it out there that there's room for more than one band. And just because, Keith can play with Bouyon Pioneers and he can play with WCK. Like it doesn't really matter. As far as I'm concerned, music is music and people or you have your fans that will follow you as the original Bouyon Pioneers because they love that sound, and there'll also be the folks that will enjoy the WCK because I feel like people have caused a lot of more confusion where confusion was not needed, and have caused it's like I feel like they've caused too much of a war when more than one band can survive. And at the end of the day, it's about progressing, it's about promoting the music. If more than one band is promoting Bouyon music, more than one ear will get to hear, right? Which makes it available to more people. So I'm glad you're on Cacoa right now explaining that, and I hope people get to see it and people are clear, as to exactly what happened or what transpired or what is going on with the bands, and just there's so many bands that can. Triple K does it all the time where they have multiple parts of their band members playing with other bands. I don't see what the big deal is. It's about yeah.
The next thing about it is that it only helps the genre because the genre it's come from a small country. Its main competitor, which is soca music, is worldwide already. So as far as I'm concerned, the more artists, the merrier.
Sorry. Sorry. I wanna go to some of the folks who are on here with us who are coming on. We have Susan Garway saying Cornell is my cousin, and as far as I could remember, he's always been a great at what he does. I left Dominic in 1984, and they great then. Keep up the good works, cuz. Miranda is sending some thumbs up. Miranda Charles is sending some thumbs up. Carol Anthony is saying the old school Bouyon was the best. We have Patrick Pemberton is on saying bless the originals. So we're getting conversations. If you're just tuning into Cacoa, we have Cornell Phillip, the famous Cornell Phillip, and he might say he's not famous. He might be shy, and he might say, don't put it on there. But he is one of the Bouyon pioneers because he was the one who was part of the group that started off Bouyon music in Dominica, a genre that has actually integrated into soca music, and a lot of soca artists incorporate the beats and the rhythms into their songs. And if you are a hardcore Dominican or a Windward under to hear, and you can actually pick up the sounds of Bouyon music that you will see emerging from soca genres. So we're here with Cornell Phillip, and we're talking about him as a producer, him as an engineer. He's done he's had a few bands, including one called Fanatic. Tell us about that Fanatic. What caused you to start off Fanatic, and what was the journey of Fanatic like?
Well, when I came back to Dominica from Barbados, toiling with Rupee, when I came back to Dominica, I decided to stay. I miss Dominica, and Rupee was taking a different road with the DJ stuff. He wasn't really using much of the live band anymore. So I came back to Dominica and I decided, hey, what am I going to do? Okay, there's no WCK anymore. The studio is still there, yes, but a lot of my clientele has moved on, so okay, start over, new ideas. So then looking at the industry, there's a lot of Bouyon bands, probably one or two reggae bands, but there's little variety. When it comes to live performance in Dominica, there was little variety at the time. So I wanted to put a group together that could cater for any occasion, down to an intimate setting, wedding, private romance, by a table, by a dinner table or whatever, to a jam session. I wanted to cover that whole spectrum, So I decided to form a band, and at the time, a friend of mine, Lyndon Lestrade, they had a band before, which was No More, and I have a lot of bands that were No More, right?
I was about to say, man. You just keep picking up on No Mores.
I keep picking up on No Mores. I don't know why. But well, there were a set of musicians available. There were a group of musicians available, and I went to him and I told him, "Yo, I want to form a band. Them fellas not there again. Your band is not there again. We partners, we boys.
Yes.
Come on board with me. Let's do something. And then I always liked doing the name Fanatic.
Where
I
did
always liked the name Fanatic. And if I tell you where it came from, you just shake your head. So,
I
when the
want to see
story
so I can shake my head.
I produced an album for Triple K. The first album that they did, I produced it for them. And they had this song, Fanatic Compa. And I was like, Triple K. Okay, now, the first time we all heard of the band Triple K, it raised eyebrows. Until we found out what it really was about, and everything was cool then. So I told them, yo, that is your first album. It would be a good idea, call the band Fanatic. That name is a powerful, very powerful name. Call the band Fanatic. It's not too late to change the name. Then after they explained to me why they want to keep the name, which made sense to me, but it was just my idea, you know, you know. So they decided to
pick the name from yourself.
Stick with the name. So when I was looking for a name, to me it was just automatic, Fanatic, straight up, Fanatic. So I went and I did my registration. I wanted to do everything correctly because I obviously learned from the past mistakes. So I went, I registered the company and did this, did that, and then started to play. Started to play. And I just wanted to put myself in a position where I could play for the president, and I'm talking about the president of Dominica,
which you've done.
Which I've done at 8 o'clock in the evening, finish by 10 o'clock, be out of there by 10 o'clock, and go and play a jam session at 12. Which I have done.
You have done.
Yeah. So, I saw that market, I saw that niche market, and I would say I capitalized on it. I took advantage of that.
You are known as a well-accomplished producer. Let's do some name dropping. Tell us some of the folks that you've actually worked with that some of them might make our jaws drop because you'll be like, I didn't know you worked with so and so.
There's so much. Okay. I'm just going to break it down. When it comes to locally, Vessels of Honor, Gospel, Visionaries, Gospel. What's his name? Jerry Lloyd, the Gospel.
Boy, I love Jerry Lloyd.
Right. Calypso, I basically produced during the time between the 90s and going up to the 2000s. I basically produced 90%, at least 90% of the Calypsos coming out of Dominica.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How about regional acts?
Of it?
Regional acts.
Regional acts. I did stuff with Rupi. Regional. I have done stuff with well, they were not called Red Boys at the time, but I've worked with the Red Boys already. I've worked with a number of artists, people that just come to me. I get a song from Antigua or the VIs or whoever, and I just do a whole set of stuff with them. There are a lot of names that I can call, but I just cannot. They can't come to mind right now.
Okay. You while in Fanatic, I'm just gonna go back a little bit. You met someone who became your wife. I got her side of things. There's the truth, and the real truth. So I want my viewers to be able to take the two interviews and decide on what they're running with, right?
Uh,
You have what we call a blended family.
right.
What did you think of your wife when you first met her?
What did I think of my wife when I first met her? When I first right inside here actually, in this corner right here. I was right here and she came in through the door. And I
Mhm.
saw the big eye. That's the first thing I noticed, the big eyes. And I was like, wow. I looked and I was like, okay, yeah, cool. Then only found out that she came in to do backups for a Kadas show. Some of the stars of Kadas, the show that we had, like Jeff Joseph. And she was one of the background singers, and I was like looking at her, she was singing, and yeah, she captivated me. I would say that. I would say that.
How hard or easy was it for you to actually integrate your kids from your previous relationship into your new family?
It was rather easy. Um, it was easy. I mean, my kids, they live just up the road, so they were
Mm.
all here and being in the music. Um, Colleen was in the music before she was in my personal life, so they knew her way before, we actually got married and stuff like that. So it was pretty easy. They are teenagers right now, and during the early teenage years, it wasn't as easy, because they seen this, and when they found out that we were getting married, obviously they would gravitate to mommy and stuff like that. But that is just life. That's a customary thing. You expect these things,
Yeah,
but you have to be ready for it, and you just deal with it.
that's exactly what you have to do. I'm
Yeah.
going back to the comments coming in. We have Henderson Noel. Once is Bouyon, no matter who the originals. I think it's just another opportunity to put Dominica on the map. That's what
Okay.
Henderson is saying. He's also saying, "Good job, my brother. Keep doing your thing, Mr. Fingers." And Brendan Lewis is giving you a thumbs up. I want to find out about that Fingers. Where did that name come up?
Um, our first gig was in. You would remember that probably. Our first gig was at Good Times. Remember Good Times?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wouldn't say our first gig, but our first gig where they presented the WCK.
Was that
Yeah.
the time when they had tear gas?
No, not then. That was way before.
I remember those.
Way before that. Um, they we were playing, and then we started to introduce the group and so on. Everybody, Smokey, which was Urban Phillip, Walkers, which was Ashton Luge, Ra, which was Derek Peters, and Keith. They didn't have a nickname for Keith. They didn't know. And then they said Cornell. And then this guy that was with us at the time, Corey Abraham, he came on the mic and he said, no, 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 no. It's not Cornell Phillip, it's Fingers. So that is when it actually was introduced to the public, but it was actually there in the internal circle already.
So because you're the master on the keyboard.
Well, as the lead keyboardist, Irvin was actually a master in his own right. He played the second keyboard, well, rhythm keyboard. I shouldn't say the second keyboard. I played lead, Irvin played rhythm, but a lot of people don't know that Irvin was one of the guys who actually put a lot of the chord structures together for the WCK songs.
Okay, if you're just coming on right now, we have literally about 10 more minutes before we wrap up the show. And we're talking to Cornell Phillip. And if you in the Caribbean, I'm sure you must have heard Balance Batty. I mean, that is probably the only Dominican sound that plays at any soca fest. You hear Balance Batty, or you may, I think once I heard Conchel played once at an event. But everybody's familiar with Balance Batty, stroke back, Balance Batty, and He was actually one of the guys behind Balance Batty and the original members of part of the original members of WCK, and I guess Bouyon pioneers. He is the Bouyon pioneer because they were the ones that started off that genre. And if you've missed most of the conversation, don't you worry. The actual video will remain on my Facebook. That is facebook.com JLIs. It will remain on there throughout. You can also catch it on my website. It's edited and it will go out on my website in 24 hours, as well as the audio, which will be available on iTunes, Listen Notes, Castbox, Spotify, to name a few. So you'll be able to listen in your car when you're driving. You know, a lot of people like to listen to podcasts. You know, that way, you know, it makes your journey a little bit easier, right? So you can definitely log in after my website is jaeljoseph.com, my full name, and you can just get in on there and listen to the interview. So don't worry, you did not completely miss the show. You can always catch it on the various mediums that I mentioned. We're going to be wrapping up the show, so if you have any questions for Cornell, now is the time to throw them out and let us know what you want to know from Cornell, what you want to talk about. We have Jarvin, I think that's his name, Jarvin George Edmonds is saying big up Cornell. Vanessa Dupy is saying, girl, they dropped that on the round for Edmonton Carnival. Oh, Balance Batty. I guess you guys dropped that during Edmonton Carnival. Vanessa is locked in all there in Calgary. Patrick is saying living history book of Bouyon music. And Carol is saying keep on doing a great job of what you're doing, Cornell, the Bouyon King. Again, if you want to ask your questions, now is the perfect time to do so. Cornell, what is your greatest accomplishment?
My greatest accomplishment? My kids. I was there, I was right there for the delivery of all my 3 kids, and there's no greater feeling. I thought it would be different from the first to the second, but it was the same. It was wow. You know, when you hold your child in your arms, that is my greatest achievement, my children. Honestly.
What's next for you in terms of music? Because we hear you guys, you both you and your wife, you know, you guys have C-Squared, who's always booked and literally turning down gigs because the demand, you can't supply the demand for C-Squared. So what's next for you guys?
Well, I mean, right now, when it comes to touring, I would say my focus is Carlin XP. You know, as I mean, I have done, WCK has done their thing, Bouyon Pioneers is still doing its thing, but Carlin XP, I see potential in Carlin XP, the brand, so I'm actually, you know, I'm pursuing that right now. You know, I'm really driving hard at that.
I like how you say that. It's like the man behind the woman. He's like, listen, you know, it's good to hear men who not only stand behind their women and whatever they want to do, but actually push it, you know, and push for it. And I remember in her interview, you know, with me, you know, she said sometimes you tell her, no, you gotta wear this, and you wear this. This is cuter, and you know, and you have been a major role, or you've played a major role in her brand, and I think she has probably one of the best female voices I've ever heard in the Caribbean, and it's just a matter of time, you know, before I think she blows up even further. Not that she has not blown; she's the Bouyon Queen of Dominica. But I think it's just a matter of time before she blows up. So tell me a little bit about that master plan.
No, man, the master plan is in the music, you know. You perfect the product and then it will be easy for you to market it, you know. But I mean, we putting ourselves out there. You know, we put in Carlin XP out there. We're doing whatever it is that we can do. We'll call the major festivals. We'll send them, EPKs and stuff like that. We're doing our marketing. Hopefully,
That's
some of them will bite. And I don't know. We just working hard because thank God we live in the studio just across this wall there. That is where we live. So get an idea, just run inside there, put it down, blah blah blah, do this, do that. I mean, we do a song in a day. Yeah, you understand? But yeah. So the push for me on an artist front is Carlin XP, but also being I shouldn't say a old boy in the business. I would say being one of one of the guys, older guys in the business, I guess. I really want
yeah, we know
to.
you're the older guy with all your gray hunting. Yeah, we know, we know.
I really want to encourage. I really like to encourage younger people. So in everything that I do, when it comes to live music and stuff like that, live performances with a bigger band, I incorporate a lot of the young fellas. I treat them well. I do want to pay them a little bit of money. I pay them what they deserve. I'm being straight up with them. I teaching them the ropes, but I like having young people around me because they really want it. You understand? They like a sponge, and I really like these young guys like Froggy on the drums and Odell and Mikel and Jovan and all these guys. Mikel Lee, not Mikel Anderson. Mikel Lee is a bass player slash drummer slash, and it really pains me to see. I mean, when I first met these guys and I see their talent, but a lot of young people are so frustrated, and a lot of musicians also, they're so frustrated, and how many of them have told me that they want to leave the music and to just see that talent just dwindle away. I want to have as much young people around me. You're professional, you can do the job. I have a job for you. I call you, and if you can do it, let us do it. You disappoint me, you get to rehearsals late, I won't hesitate to put you up. Because in this day and age, I think our music is suffering because of the lack of professionalism.
Yeah.
And the young people don't want to take advice and stuff like that, but probably is how we approach them, or probably just tell them the bad things, but we don't give them a way forward or a way out of it. So I kind of have this studio as a portal where musicians can come in and really express themselves, and we can talk and stuff like that. And I do it through the live performances with them, and I really love working with young people. I really, really love working with young people. They give me the drive, honestly.
Plus, they keeping your hair black, eh?
It's really fun. It's really fun.
Cornell, it's been a pleasure having you here on Cacoa Tea. My first guest for the new season.
Disappoint.
Having you here. Say that again.
I hope I didn't disappoint.
No, not at all. I think I got exactly what I wanted. I really wanted to start off the show this way, and I'm happy that you found time in your schedule to be here, with us, set the record straight on certain things without being aggressive or without friendly. A lot of times people think that because something is no more, there's a need and there's something involved. But people can go their separate ways and still be mutual friends and still together, right?
Eventually, people go their separate ways.
That is the bottom line, and we just have to live in the moment and love what was done. If we keep loving what was produced and what was done, and we just keep promoting, I think we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot a lot because we cause the outside world to see our bad ways or man, and at the end of the day, I feel like Bouyon music should be so much further than it is if we stop criticizing and stop putting our own meanings to things that we don't understand. I think just accept it and move on. Move with what you have. I see like people like Kex Mafia, coming on. Yo, let me tell you, I don't know. I think I'm too vulgar. I just love. I'm a little bit just too vulgar because those I cannot not love them. Like I hear it and I'm like my Canadian friends. I'm like, what do you think of this? And I played for them, and they're like, oh my god! Like I have this musician friend, and he's like, I think I want to use that rhythm. And I said, listen, it's from Dominica. I know people that you can call, to get, So I feel like everybody have what they can offer
Right.
to the music. I have never been an artist. I've never known how to sing. But I appreciate what all those who put out the music. I mean, it takes a lot of hard work. I've seen musicians work hard, night after night, sometimes getting paid $150 for whole night, or even $50, or even nothing,
No,
and putting out. And it's time that we respect not just as a nation in Dominica, but the wider picture.
right.
Respect musicians and respect all the amount of work that they put out. Because I don't know one time a song never make you feel good. Like everybody can relate and say they've heard a song. I was actually looking at that video. DJ Matthew posted the video of Ale kote si, ale kote sa, mo ta di wala. Yo, let me tell you, do amwe. I just wanted to, like, I was holding myself and dancing. It's like, I mean, at the end of the day, you have to appreciate what you guys have done, and appreciate the fact that you can evolve and move on.
Yep.
And I'm really appreciative of you being here with me on the show, and I want to tell you, keep pushing Clowny next, because I see big things. Let me tell you, I ready to, like, be at the promoters there to get you guys. So whenever you need my help, if you need a voice in North America, you just reach out, because I like to break doors. So just reach out. Now is the time for us to really respect and unite with each other. And stop piggybacking and stop fighting and stop all that nonsense. Dominicans, we don't even understand how talented we are. We don't understand. All you create, all your own freaking genre we of music. Like two of them, a little island with under 100,000 people. Like, don't you people even understand what that means? Like, we have North America riding off of like one genre, one or two, four or five genres, and you've created two genres under 100,000 people. That shows a lot of talent, right? That shows a lot of talent, and I think we need to start encouraging each other and push forward. Congratulations to you and Carlene. Hopefully, you guys get booked for a tour soon. I know Dominicans will not be too happy, because I mean, every weekend they all booked. C squared book. I tired get flyers. C squared here, C squared there.
Well, that is what we do. It's not to say we work during the day and then we come and play in the night. We work. That is our work. Music is our job. So if we booked, it's because of hard work. We work hard at it. But one last thing I want to say, though, I think our music industry would move a lot further if we would collaborate, not only on a musical standpoint, but on a business standpoint. Let's put a business module together. Let's put a group together. Let's put a tour together, and let's take the music outside. Carly XP cannot do it on our own. Triple K cannot do it on their own. WCK cannot do it on their own. ASA, Kex, and people would criticize Kex. People would criticize ASA. They would criticize WCK. How is that it should be that, that. But you can imagine if you have a full package of a little of everything. You understand? So I think we should collaborate on a business standpoint. Also, it's not only about the music collabs. Somebody come and sing on a song. We have to collab on the business front also. Let's come together and put a tour together and go to the United States. Then go to Notting Hill Carnival for that weekend, and after go to Boston or what.
Miami Carnival is coming up. Somebody said they want to see you guys.
Carnival. But that WCK alone go into this and that and that. I mean, if you get the opportunity, take it. But I think we should collab. We should make an effort to collab on so many things to help the Bouyon music go forward. And also help of the private sector as well as the government.
Thank you very much, Cornell, for being here with us. Somebody just Herman Chaplin just came on, and he's talking about my makeup, and I was about He says, "Good night, Shelly. I love your makeup. Father Shaplis is my name from my line." And he's saying, "He's on my yo, Father Shaplis. You want to know where my lipstick is from? It's actually from the Glam, in Roseau. Imagine, Cornell, I get my lipstick from Dominica. Like imagine that. So it's called High Maintenance. It's by Sasha. So that's the lipstick I'm wearing right now. So, so anybody who wants a lipstick, check out the Glam in Roseau. Just ask Mimi for High Maintenance. Exactly what you're talking about. Yes, it's called High Maintenance. Yeah, thank you so very much, guys. And Yvonne Laron just came on and saying great job, as well as Nans do saying your people's names on Facebook is good to me. Yes. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. In the next show, I have another musician is going to be on. His name is Dwayne Forrest, and you'll get to know a little bit about him. He's a Canadian musician. He's actually in Paris, so the show will be earlier than normal because of the time difference. So he's in Paris on tour, promoting his latest album. So he'll be on with us next show. Cornell, thank you so very much for being here. Right? Thank you and your entire team, and thanks to all those of you who tuned in to Cacoa Tea. I love it, Cacoa. Thanks to those of you who tuned in. I really do appreciate all of you. And you don't forget to share the video. Hit share on the video. Let somebody else enjoy just what you enjoy. Thanks again for tuning in to Cacoa Tea. Until next time. Bye-bye.